All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Game 2 of STCN versus Rain. Uh, STCN up one game. Rain could be defeated here if STN manages to pull off this win on Land of Fire. Raptor, can you tell us a little bit about STCN's lineup, sir?
Yes, sir. On the top end of Land of Fire, in the green, STCN bringing a Montana. Vladina here, headed over to making turns like going over to the sea cap. In front of him, Hanoka's Napoli. Look that over. Nothing unusual or seeming there. Right now, those are the only two ships that seem very clearly headed to sea. Blanquillo's Ragnar, we saw him last game, and Jailer's Harugumo looking like they're going to kind of sort of maybe play the middle of the board. Blanquillo headed to B. Jailer may be headed for this island over here, this critical island that we've seen on this map here, kind of Quarry Island here along the 4 line that's become such an interesting place to watch early in a game. A lot of force headed to A here, Zath. At the back of the pack, we have Kiss's Kremlin. Fairly typical there, nothing outstanding. ZKS's Marseille running reload. Zabayev's Des Moines, a little unique upgrade there with top grade gunner. And he may be turning down the 4 line here, waiting for Jailer to smoke him up to the island. We'll keep an eye on that. 2 destroyers on this flank. That's Habarovsk. That's Ran. This is Engine, Rudder 3, and gun reload to go with a little bit of extra range. And Luboy's Yang, who is indeed a radar Yang and largely a torpedo build otherwise. Talk to me about the Rain lineup, Zath. Oh, it's the infamous Mecklenburg.
Gangbarang is south of B in the Ragnar already. Arturius in the Des Moines taking up a position there. A little bit safer position early on. Look, they're trying to radar out Jailer No Excuses Harugumo.
Yep.
And there it is. Meanwhile, Dubaisin's Harugumo is smoking into a spot in C. That's so that he has shells. At least I thought so, and he kept going. I thought it was so he had shell arcs over on the north of the B island. Also over at A is Madurica's Minotaur. That is obviously going to be a Manitar. Yep. Mosfa backing him up with the usual build, and Malamu's Ohio. On the other side, going towards A, we got the Harugumo, the Brisbane, and as Raptor stole both of the unique ship calls today, we've got our Mecklenburg. That's
What is
Dastard.
that about?
What is what about?
Mecklenburg. What is that about?
So
Mecklenburg.
Mecklenburg, lots of guns. All the guns, right?
12 barrels.
4 quadruple.
Oh, no, excuse me,
turrets.
16.
16. By the way, reminder, Kleber and Daring banned for this particular game. Now, the thing the mech has, they're lower caliber shells, but you don't care if you're shooting mostly at Brisbanes and Minotaurs and that sort of deal. Pretty good at setting fires and all that stuff as well. And a relatively speedy boy, if I remember correctly.
I gotta say, Zath, I have never been enamored of Mecklenburg. There are people that make that ship work. It's one that I have never been able to find a good use or a good build for that jives with me. So I'm really curious to see how Dastard deploys this ship and how well Rain makes it work here. Both teams
A little bit of back and forth fighting.
Yeah.
B. Go ahead.
Both teams jumping on a cap here. Of course, Rain grabbing C. All the STCN ships at A doing their job. They were able to get a radar. That early Des Moines radar from Arturius caught a sniff of Jailer's Harugumo, so they have to know that he and Zabayev are in this position over on the other side of the B cap.
Absolutely. Now, Luboy in big trouble there. I just followed a salvo win from Dastard's mech. Did decent damage, lots of hits. The thing about the Mecklenburg, you were talking about uncertainty, about build and everything. The trap with Mecklenburg is, since it's a German battleship, you instinctively want to spec it for secondaries and that sort of deal. But no, you actually spec it more like a typical traditional battleship like you see Dastard doing right there with his build.
Well, and he's also seemingly spec'd it for a little bit of fire, right? He's running the extra fire chance there. So obviously he plans to be spending a lot of his time firing HE. But if you wanted to bring an HE battleship, Zath, let's assume for a minute, why not a Conqueror? Why not even a Flame Tana? Why
Conqueror
Mecklenburg instead of?
Well, for one, I would say the armor scheme comes in very handy for
All right,
versus Conqueror especially.
Yeah, reasonable.
And it still comes with that spotter plane that you would want in a Montana as well.
Hmm.
And you actually have, what, 4 more barrels that you're firing. Lower caliber, but 4 more nonetheless.
True.
In any case, uh, interestingly enough, Rain has not only grabbed the sea cap, but if you look at it, Raptor, they are setting for a push through with their Ohio Haru Minotaur.
Yeah, looks like they're trying to push up the 9-10 line over here, which is somewhat traditional. We see a lot of teams try to push forces through these fields of islands. There's a lot of different ways you can cut through here, a lot of good cover. And STCN, to their credit, like, there's not a lot of ships over here to prevent or even slow this down. Vladina's Montana and Hanoka's Napoli are about it. Everybody else focused at A, and they're still trying to break into B. Artorias' Des Moines, now Boom's Moskva, Gangbering's Ragnar, thus far have all had a stranglehold on that particular cap.
Yeah, I'm looking at Vlad's Montana. He's got the plane up. I think he was hoping for another shot at Artorias' Des Moines. He's just not getting one, though. There's no spotting on him at this point.
They are farming the bejesus out of Boom's Moskva.
Well, yeah, and I mean, it makes sense, right? Because Boom just kind of went there. And who else can STCN shoot right now, this whole group? There's Artorias' radar to at least try to make people feel uncomfortable where they are, but they're still shooting.
I mean, he's going to get some shots on Blanquillo's Ragnar, but I mean, you're going to get some chit damage on the Ragnar, but you're not going to seriously, you're not going to inconvenience him enough that he's going to run away, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Montana salvo now coming in on Artorias' Des Moines to see how impactful this is as the shells fall in.
That's what he's been looking for.
Nice hit.
Decent hit, yeah.
10-12K. Des Moines knows he's been in a fight as they continue to just harvest Boom's health pool here. Still got a few heals left, but the amount of persecution you have to feel at some point playing this ship in this position has got to be rough. Mm-hmm. They get a second fire there right as Boom's DCP comes available.
Right. And he is dark.
Yes.
So, but oh, look at the Montana salvo coming in saying, don't feel comfortable there, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah. Vladina's Montana position back here being very impactful so far. They were using, they were doing a great job of using Jailer's Harugumo to spot Boom's Moskva, while the Des Moines of Zabayev just lobbed shells at him, lobbed shells at him, lobbed shells at him all day long.
Dubaisen is now smoking Madura's Minotaur into the middle. He's about to get detected on radar.
And no.
Wow.
The radar comes within a few meters of Dubaisen's hull, but they never quite pick him up as Zabayev forced to move.
So obviously Artorias called out, I'm on radar. They'd figured it's probably Des Moines. How far away is that Des Moines?
Yeah.
Put calculations in your head.
Right.
And Dubaisen slows down and turns and just barely misses the radar.
It's a 4-point lead for STCN, 9 minutes in. Both teams trading fairly evenly, although I'll say STCN does have a health advantage right now at the moment.
Yeah, they're looking pretty strong right now. The question's going to be, is Rain going to be able to make something happen at the 9-10? And they haven't. And a matter of fact, look, they've turned their ships around.
Yeah. So
even Dastard. So Dastard was heading towards B a few moments ago. I look back, he's going the other way again.
Yeah. I'm not convinced they're going to be able to make anything happen at A. The STCN seems content to let them have C, or at least for the moment, just kind of, we'll harass you, but we're not going to go all in. Right. So the play is very clearly going to be at B. The question comes, who makes a mistake first? Who lands that first critical kill, critical torpedo hit? Who knows, right?
Right. Exactly.
Blanquillo's Ragnar putting his radar up way up here along the D line. I'm not sure what he thought he might find, but trying it anyway. Coming up empty, of course. There we go. Dubaisen.
Well,
now onto the cap.
You okay over there?
Oh, man. My early morning's catching up to me.
So the radar there, I think, is a smart play because you want to make sure no Harugumo or no Ragnar is coming anywhere close to that Montana. I think the Montana is a key piece to the board. You want to protect him. Ragnar's got a few more radars anyways. And if
Well,
nothing's up there to the north, that's great. The STCN knows they can focus more on the B area.
they've got Jailer on radar, and Zabayev's Des Moines, his hydro is
Oh,
down.
look at A. Look at A. Look at A. Look at A. Luboy detected on the Yang. Oh, goes down
Oh.
to Lulu's Brizzy radar. And the door is now open.
Does seem to be,
That
as
A.
these torpedoes are all going to fall astern. None of those are going to land. Kremlin not in a position to punish Lulu for this maneuver because, well, Shady's there doing his job with the smoke.
Mm-hmm.
So just like that, up
So
a kill,
now-
up a cap.
Right, exactly. STCN needs to find a way to get back into this game. Kaba's being rotated. Harugumo is being rotated north of B. I think they're fixing for a push into SeaRaptor.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think at this point, you've got to send the Haba and or the Ragnar to B and pick that up and then try to bag a kill somewhere along the way, because flipping the caps will buy you time, which admittedly right now is a worthy goal. But I think you're going to have to make up at least some of the points gap with a kill somewhere, because you're coming up on 150. You're about 150 points down now. You aren't. It's going to take you a long time to make that up on capture points alone.
Napoli plane goes up. As a result, everybody knows that he's over there. Minotaur radars catching him exactly where they thought he'd be on that fidget spinner island.
Mm-hmm.
The interesting thing is, okay, so they know where one of STCN's assets is. The other one is about to become known as Blanquillo gets on the sea cap.
He is in range of the Moskva radar as he does this. And Dubiason,
Well, that happens.
And Dubiason Sarugo now moving to counter on the bottom end.
While that's happening, look over at B. Jailer's Harugumo goes into B cap, smoking up Zabayev's Des Moines.
I really like this.
Mm-hmm.
I like this play. I like seeing STCN with a bit of a double-pronged attack here, forcing Rain to counter multiple threats at once. Of course, it'll be better. It'll be better if they don't lose Blanquillo in the effort.
Yeah, Boom's radar just catching him there.
He is finally dark. He's on fire again.
No heals left on him.
Yep, he is out of heals, as they do flip the B cap. Arturius
Napoli has
last
moved
radar.
forward.
So he has. Why? Why would you take this? Why would you take this fight?
I think it was a poorly timed. I think he was planning on coming out while the Ragnar was still on radar, but he just wasn't in position to do it. And so now he's doing a Homer Simpson, and we'll see him go behind the fidget spinner island again and wait for his next smoke.
Jailer's Sarugamo at the top of end of B getting hammered. He spent a lot of time under Artorius' last radar. If he can manage to hang on and survive, there he goes.
His engines are out. His DCP is available.
Des Moines in mid now completely out of radar. 120-point lead and falling for Rain. 6 minutes to play. Ladina's Montana had been pushing C, now trying to get some cover, being mercilessly harassed. Yeah, mercilessly harassed by Dubai and Sarugamo. But again,
I feel like
Blanquillo on C.
I feel like he had a really good opportunity to smack Artorius in the face, and instead he went into the channel. If he continues backing up just a little bit farther, he will probably detect Artorius.
He doesn't. He didn't. He declined. If he'd gone any farther back, Artorius would have spotted him. It would have been a counter spot, but he opted not to. The push
question mark on that one.
The push at A is occurring as STCN bags the C cap. Again, a 70-point lead and falling for Rain as they now step onto A. The Mecklenburg, the Harugamo, and Lulu's Brisbane. They've chased the Marseille off. That's ZKS.
Gang Barang just getting hammered.
Oh, but Zabayev getting hammered.
Something just took him down. I think that was Gangbang's AP.
Gain
for
goes
Ragnar.
Gain goes down as Zabayev gets chunked. Zabayev now going to have to load the AP for Artorias. He's going to get some good salvos in here.
Yeah, there's a good one right there.
Ticket a heal, but he can't win this gunfight without help. There's the help
Where's
he needed.
the Montana? There's the Montana.
There's the help he needed from his teammates. Even if they lose Zabayev now, and they very well might, they should retain control of B. And they
There's
will.
The trade, yep.
They're going to lose control of C. They just lost control of A. STCN clinging right now to a 60-point lead under 5 minutes to play. Rain fighting for their very lives in the tournament. Although they're going to finish no lower than 4th. As Blanquillo beaches.
The Aster just got hit pretty heavily from Last Kiss's Kremlin. Forced to kind of bow in now.
Yeah, Kiss's Kremlin has just been kind of giving ground and playing it smart. And I think now they're telling him, look, you're going to have to get up in there and stop those points ticking.
Yeah, that's a pretty hard ask.
I didn't say it was easy. As the Kremlin smashes some more shells into Dastard again. But he's going. He's going to need some help.
Absolutely.
I feel like if you're going to make this worth, Zath, you've got to get the Marseille back down here. Go ahead.
You also need to get Kiss on just in time, and there it is. So they've held the point gain, and STCN is still in the lead. Even the Kaba, look at the Kaba backing into C-Cap now.
Yep, Rand's got plenty of HP to attempt this maneuver. Boom still has a radar available that they'll undoubtedly use as they're bringing Debison, Sarugamo, and Madar's Minotaur back towards B. They know that everybody that had been defending B is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Blanquillo has one radar left, and Vladina, the Montana here, guns looking at this smoke. At the moment,
Look at the super. Go ahead.
I was saying, at the moment, B is the only points being ticked up by either team.
Look at the super long range arcs from Jailer's No Excuse there, Harugumo, on Boom's Moskva. Just taste the rainbow, buddy. Speaking of tasting things, Kaba just got hammered.
Well, but he knew that he had over 21,000 hit points when he made that maneuver. He knew that was going to happen. There we go. 2 minutes to play. It's a 28-point lead and falling for STCN.
Blanquillo's
going to go out
down here.
That's going to flip the lead right here. There it is. Rain out into the lead, about 90 points or so. STCN trying to get back onto C. They will lose control of B at this point.
Yeah, take a look at A, Raptor.
The Harugumo's made his charge.
Torpedoes. Lulu coming right behind. They see him.
Oh, why is this Marseille so far back? What is he doing back here? Oh, no.
Holding that spot for the Dominion, Raptor.
Oh, every cap is contested as we're down to about 90 seconds to play. The Brisbane Conga Line torpedoes are out. Out for Kiss. I don't think he can dodge. No. How many of these is he going to take? He's going to take like all of them. Oh.
And insurance policy right there. Ship Shady's torpedoes as well.
They had to bring the Brisbane down.
Raptor.
They had to bring the Brisbane down to pull that off, and they couldn't do it. Now they bagged the Moskva on the other side of the map. 60 seconds to play. 70 seconds or so. But now
look at the Ohio Malibu.
Rain's
all the way on the Ted line.
Yeah, Rain's ticking up all the caps. Even if they lose Malamu, and they might, it's not going to do it. It won't flip the lead. It buys them time, but it doesn't matter. They're not on the caps. They've got to get onto caps, and even then it won't be enough because they can't get on to two. There's two of them they can't even get on. Oh, why did the Marseille run? If they had brought
he's now behind the island too.
If they had brought the Marseille down to sit there with his hydro, at least near the Kremlin, I think you can make that A hold work. But he played so far back, they couldn't hold it. They couldn't hold it. Man, what a great game!
He was too afraid. Yeah, too afraid to commit that turn. He was going to make a turn. He was kiting away.
Yeah, but what over there's going to hit him? The Mecklenburg? Man, Mecklenburg is throwing a wad of spaghetti at a wall.
Right.
Wow. I mean, you don't have any idea where those shells are going when you pull the trigger. So That's one of the other reasons that Mecklenburg and I don't particularly get along all that much. It's quantity over quality. So if I'm a cruiser player, am I going to make a broadside turn in front of a Mecklenburg? Probably 8 times in 10 I am, because even if by some miracle he does have AP loaded in the barrel, chances are high he's not going to land many of those shells. Wow.
And frankly, with the ship like the Marseille, you're pretty well armored anyway. You know, I'd be more concerned about that in a Minotaur or Brisbane.
Yeah,
So
100%.
I completely hear you there.
But
either way,
here we
who
are.
knows what the call was?
Indeed.
Here we are. So we're going to game 3, Raptor.
All right, guys, we will see you back for game 3 on Warriors Path in just a few minutes.